state and spell your name?
Molly McArthur, it's MOLLY, MC capital ARTHUR.
How would you like to be titled?
Project Spokesperson.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. The reason that we've asked you here today is to talk about earthquake safety work that is going to be going on inside the Transbay Tube. As you probably know, since 2005, we have continued to work on the tube and the original system to bring it up to earthquake standards. Now we have to do some work inside the Transbay Tube that's going to take longer than our usual 3-hour overnight work window will allow. So starting tomorrow, Tuesday, March 26th, and happening Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for the next 14 months, we'll be doing work inside the Transbay Tube starting at 10 p.m. That means evening riders are going to experience a delay of somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes starting around 10 p.m. on those 3 nights every single week for the next 14 months. The reason this work is going to take so much longer is that it's specialized work. We have to take in a very large truck with extra cranes on the back. Those cranes are capable of lifting a 4-ton piece of steel into place where we're going to bolt it inside the tube. The crews have to go in, mobilize, set up their work, perform their shift, clean it up, vacate, and get out in time for the start of morning service, roughly 4 a.m. the next morning. You can't do that in a 3-hour work window. So, although we really obviously regret we have to inconvenience evening riders, if you are going to ride BART on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday nights, and you have a plane to catch, you have a social engagement, if you work evening hours, please allow an extra 20 minutes. We're very, very thankful to the Bay Area for voting for Measure AA in 2004. That's what allowed us to perform this work. We've been working since 2005. And when we're done, the work that we're going to be doing on these evenings is going to make that tube capable of surviving the very rare and very large earthquakes that are coming our way, larger than those that happened, the one that happened in 1906. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
When you finish in 14 months, will that end your retrofit work in the tunnels, or is there more after that?
There's more work in general around the system, but that is the largest bulk of what's going to happen in the tube. There may be some additional cleanup work, but it certainly won't be the kind that's going to cause additional delays.
And why did you pick these 3 evenings? Why not other days of the week?
Because they're lower typical ridership evenings. You know, as you get toward the weekend, more people are riding. They're doing more evening activities, and in general, we were trying to find the nights that fewest people are riding. It's, you know, it's unpredictable. You can have something occur in the evening on a Tuesday that will bring more people into the city. So it's kind of, you know, throw up the coin and decide which nights are going to get the short end.
Is there flexibility in it if, say, there were a big event like a, you know, I don't know, a playoff game or something of Giants? Could you move the day or cancel a night work?
We could certainly consider it. It's hard to do that if you've already got a contract out that specifies what you're asking for. But certainly if there was something that really called upon a movement of time, we'd certainly consider it.
Will you be doing any kind of compensation, like longer trains or anything like that?
We'll be doing the longest trains possible for those evenings, absolutely. But recall that what we're doing here is single tracking. It means one train goes all the way to the end, and then the other train comes through all the way to the end. And so number of cars certainly will help, but when you've only got one train going through at a time, that's where the delay comes.
What would be the longest trains possible at that hour? I mean,
10.
so
10
we
cars.
will do
Yeah.
10.
And what's the cost of the project?
The overall cost of the project is 1.2 billion.
So had you, before this week, you'd already been doing work on
Yes,
it too?
absolutely.
And from the beginning, since 2005?
Since 2005.
This
It
is
was our
just a
top
more-
priority.
This is just a more intense phase.
It's an intense phase, and because of the nature of the work, because it's so cumbersome to get in there, the overnight work window is a 3-hour window, and that's just not long enough to get a specialized truck in with a 4-ton piece of steel, get it into place, and clean up in time to start 4 a.m. service.
And can you describe exactly what's happening in the tube? So they're putting the steel on the roof, or just what's going on?
In general, what we're doing is putting a steel sheath, if you will, on the inside.
Steel sheet?
Sheath.
Do you know if during the 14 months there are any holidays that land on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday that are pre-scheduled not to have work done?
I don't know. I'd have to go take a look at a calendar.
I'm thinking off the bat, there are probably some Giants games on Tuesday nights that probably,
There could be,
people going home after a Giants game will
yeah, there could be.
affect it, yeah. Just in terms of the earthquake retrofitting overall, I mean, I know there are a number of projects going on. I happen to drive by the tracks on MLK in Oakland and Berkeley.
Yep.
I mean, can you talk about where the other phases of this go?
Sure. We've actually, as I said, we've been working since 2005. That particular stretch along MLK is one that we've been intensively working for about the last year and a half. This spring we'll be finishing up there. We do have other projects, mostly now going down toward the Fremont line that are starting up. There'll be work there. We've had work out into Contra Costa. We've had work, Orinda, Lafayette, and so forth. In San Francisco, we're completely finished. So it's a long process. You remember, we are completely retrofitting the original system that opened between 1972 and 1976. So the entire structure, while in its day was built to a greater earthquake standard than just about anything else in the region. In 40 plus years, those standards have changed considerably. And so now we're just raising our standards to achieve a more robust modern standard.
And after the 14 months are done, the tube will be completely finished?
I won't say it'll be completely finished. There's probably some cleanup work to do, but that's really the bulk of the strengthening. That really is going to make it, if you want to say, survivable for the next large earthquake.
Where's the funding from this coming?
The bulk of the funding is coming from a general obligation bond that the voters passed in 2004. That's, I think, more than 3/4 of the funding is coming from there. Then there's a variety of state sources and some local sources, so it's a range.
So, what was I gonna ask? I can't remember. No, okay. Go ahead.
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you.